is Joy News Prime.
Hello and good evening. Tonight on Joy News Prime, police administration evacuate installations in the eastern region town where residents set fire to police station and other properties and vow not to return until the station is rebuilt by the residents. Controversial charismatic evangelist Bishop Obinim damns those calling for his arrest for flogging two of his adopted children in church, insisting he did no wrong. The biological parents of the two teenagers have meanwhile endorsed the flogging. Hajj pilgrims off to Mecca in inaugural flight from Tamale International Airport.
And coming up in business, Tullow Oil says that 10 field couldn't have come at a better time considering the current financial challenges the company is having to go through.
My name is Arba Kumsin and Joy News Prime is still the most comprehensive 2 hours of television news in Ghana. It's also available across Europe on ABN Television. Stay tuned. The police administration has evacuated the eastern region town where irate residents vandalized the police station and other properties on Thursday. The residents were venting their anger over the escape of custody of two rogue police officers accused of masterminding an attempted robbery of a bullion van. The two suspects have since been rearrested, but the residents have suspicions other rogue officers were complicit in what they believe was a deliberate scheme to let the suspects off the hook. The police hierarchy says the entire episode is being investigated but insists it will not return to Donkokrom until the town rebuilds the station, which was destroyed in Thursday's disturbances.
The Director General of the Police Criminal Investigations Department, COP Prosper Agbulo, at a news conference at the Accra Region Command, provided details of the incident from the attack on the bullion van through to the escape of the rogue cops after their initial arrest and their eventual recapture on Thursday.
On Tuesday, August 16, 2016, at about 10:30 a.m., the police in Donkokrom received a report that there was a robbery attack on the Ghana Commercial Bank bullion van at Mami Krobo Junction in the Afram Plains. The police promptly responded to the call, and after some serious operational maneuvers, the suspects, numbering 3, were rounded up. The outcry and concern that greeted this heinous crime and the subsequent unfortunate escape of the suspected perpetrators is public notice. Police quickly deployed men to recapture the prisoners.
The CID boss assured the police is investigating the various strands of the incident, including the escape of the two rogue officers when they were being transported to the Eastern Regional Capital.
Police work to rules and regulations, so the conduct of the police officers involved in the robbery and those involved in the arrest and escort of the suspects will be subjected to a thorough investigation, and anyone found to have misconducted him or herself accordingly punished.
Another aspect of the investigation, Prosper Agbulo indicated, was the vandalism by residents of Donkokrom, in which several people were injured in the police attempt to repel the attack.
Irrespective of the magnitude of the supposed provocation, the reaction put up by the residents of Donkokrom cannot be tolerated and justified in any civilized society. In any democratic environment, when one is aggrieved by anything, one has to resort to the due process to seek redress and not take the law into one's own hands.
Inspector General of Police John Kudalo, who also addressed the gathering, said the police remain on top of security issues and have deployed more than 100 police officers to the Afram Plains area.
As I talk to you now, over 100 policemen in Donkokrom, marshaled from the Volta region, Kufodia, and the headquarters. And this could have been channeled to giving protection and an enable environment for a larger society to go about their lawful duties, but then they are in Donko Krom. Again, I want to emphasize that it is the main aim of this administration to ensure that we leave the service with a lot of confidence and trust within the public.
On the shooting of the protesters at Donko Krom, the police said they were compelled to fire to ward off the crowd that was surging at them. The three suspects, Hasifu Mohammed, a civilian who was the driver of the taxi used for the robbery, and two police officers, Corporal Elvis Solomon Mensah and Lance Corporal Daniel Kisi Abrakwa, were paraded before the newsmen. Joseph Akablev for Joy News, Accra.
Now, in some parts of the world, ecotourism has raked in billions of dollars. That may not be the case in Ghana. Environmental conservation, if tapped fully, can provide employment and more opportunities. With this in mind, the Forestry Commission has cut the sword for construction of an Accra Eco Park to provide direct employment to the youth, as well as stop the encroachment on the lands at the Achimota Forest. When completed, the facility will serve as a major tourist attraction. Joy News' Maxwell Agbagba, on the sidelines of the sword cutting ceremony, spoke with the Chief Executive Officer of the Forestry Commission.
My major challenge has been to implement the mandate given to me by the Constitution, as well as the laws of the country. However, it's been very, very difficult because we all know that the forest is declining at a very alarming rate. It has been mentioned that we're losing about 23,000 hectares of forest annually. And what it means is that if this should continue, in the next 23 years, Ghana might not have any forest left, because we're losing not 23, but 65,000 hectares of forest resources annually. If that continues, we might not have any forest left in the next 23 years. Meanwhile, we all know the benefits of the forest and therefore the consequence of its absence. Forests provide livelihood to about 2 million people of our population. And the forest is also located where about 60 to 70% of the Ghanaian population is, in the rural areas. Their livelihood is on the forest to provide them with the agricultural land that is required to provide the food security. Their livelihood depends on the forest when it comes to the provision of protein through bushmeat. Their livelihood depends on the forest when it comes to medicinal plants and so on and so forth. And for those of us who live in the cities.
On the issue of pollution also, we hear some people dump refuse here, sometimes dead bodies. How true is that?
It is true. I mean, if you go through the forest, you see all sort of undesirable material in the forest. Refuse dumping is just one of them. People's occupation of the land, and you know, when human beings occupy land, the basic human activities must be met, like cooking, like taking shower, and they also come with the effect. Recently, about 3 hectares of the land was razed down by wildfire. For instance,
and there are people who live very close to the forest, unlike the Molly National Park, where communities are a bit secluded, from the park. What is going to happen in terms of protection of this wildlife, in terms of residents who live here, so that will not pose any danger to them?
I think all that will be taken into consideration in designing the park, but definitely this will be very, very harmless animals, and animals generally are harmless. What is dangerous is when the interaction between us and the animals are not managed properly or appropriately. So the public will also be educated as to how to deal with the introduction of these animals.
Well, the Chief Executive Officer of Acorn Capital, the company that won the bid to execute the project, gives some details of it.
The agreement with government is to take between 7 to 10 years, but we envisage during our program that we could get it accomplished between 5 to 7 years.
So it's going to be work in progress from now until 7 years?
Yes, work in progress and opening in phases, with a view of opening the first phase from between 18 to 24 months from construction. Okay. And we'll be opening gradually different phases, different components as we go along.
We see an artist's impression of what it's going to look like. Yeah. I want you to kindly walk us through, talk us through what it's going to be like from the amusement enclave to the spiritual enclave.
So the beginning, this artist impression will be enhanced upon or change a lot, or it will be a lot better than this, I should say. But this gives you a fair idea of what is going to be here, but there's a lot that is not on it. So the amusement enclave will entail from your amusement park, your water park, and all those stuff that people see at theme parks and game parks. The Eco Business Enclave will where you have your restaurant, where people could eat, offices, and those kind of stuff.
So that's the two that we see there.
That's the number 2.
That's number 2.
Then number 3 will have your eco lodges. The eco lodges will have, like what you see here, like kind of summer hut, eco-friendly, where people can lodge when they come and stay here and they enjoy the park. You have live animals going around. None of the major 5s, which is your lions and what have you. And you have the commercial enclave. You have the president representative saying that we'll have a conference center and all that, but that will be across from the park, across from the street. The reason being, you want to attract the international bodies, the big banks and whatnot. They could bring their conferences here. When they are coming, they can bring their families who enjoy the eco park while they are doing whatever they are doing at the conference center. You have your safari zone. Yes, again, none of the big 5s, but there will be walk safari with all sort of animals, from birds to antelopes to rare species. And we didn't forget the spiritual enclave, which will have our churches will have a place to pray. They'll have a place to do their church. They'll have a place to do weddings and all those stuff. So in a nutshell, they give you what it will entail. But like I said, it's work in progress, so it will be improved upon a lot more than this.
So how much is it going to cost for us to put up something like this?
The investment over the life period of the project will well over $1 billion.
$1 billion.
Yes.
Okay, and it's going to finish from now to like 7 years.
Yes. Like I said, we have a timeline of 7 to 10 years to complete, but we've given ourselves 5 to 7 years to get it done.
Now, President John Dramani Mahama has inaugurated the Tamale International Airport. The ceremony on Friday was witnessed by chiefs and people of Tamale. The new international airport, which actual works began in 2014, had its runway expanded from 2,500 to 3,400 meters. It also has a complete lighting system to take care of bigger aircraft. Addressing the chief and people to mark the inauguration, President Mahama said the upgrading of the Tamale International Airport will boost agricultural production in the country. He also revealed plans by his government to give Cape Coast and Bolgatanga a facelift. Earlier, the president bid farewell to the first batch of 500 pilgrims airlifted on a Boeing 747 aircraft to Mecca. Let's go on the line and speak to regional correspondent Hashmin Mohammed there. Good evening to you, Hashmin. Unfortunately, we don't have Hashmin on the line, so we're taking a short break. We'll be right back. Stay tuned. You're welcome back to Joy News Prime. Let's go back to Tamale, where about 500 pilgrims were airlifted to Mecca straight from Tamale. Today, we have on the line our Northern Regional Correspondent, Hashmin Mohammed. Good evening to you, Hashmin.
Good evening, Araba.
So we know that 500 pilgrims have been airlifted. What is the arrangements for the rest?
Well, the rest are being prepared through the normal departure procedures at the Tamale Jubilee Park. There's a temporary Hajj village, that structure that has been put at the Hajj at the Tamale Jubilee Park. So at that place, they have been checked in by immigration officials and other agencies that will facilitate that they are airlifted to Saudi Arabia, and from that place they will be sent to the Tamale airport, and then that is where they will be airlifted to.
I imagine the pilgrims will be very excited seeing as they're going directly from Tamale to Mecca. But you've been speaking to some of them. What have they been telling you?
Well, some of them are very happy that this time around they stay comfortably in their houses and they will not have to go through a lot of hassle before they can be airlifted. So this time around, what is being done is that until you get a call from your agent, you will have no business being at the Hajj place. So their agents will call them and then give them some reporting time. They will report at the venue, and then they will be prepared. After the preparation, a bus will then arrive, then pick them from the Tamale Jubilee Park, the Tamale Airport, which is about 30 to 45 minutes drive to the airport, and then they will be airlifted straight to Saudi Arabia.
Interesting. Hashmin, I know the president was there to witness the inaugural flight. What has he been saying?
Well, the president addressing the chiefs and people of Tamale said the new Tamale, the first phase of the Tamale International Airport will save the hassle pilgrims go through every year in Accra before they are airlifted to Saudi Arabia. He's also saying that the airport will boost agricultural production in the Savannah ecological zone of the country. He has also been saying that it is time the people of the north take advantage of the infrastructure that government has provided them to improve on their livelihood.
All right, many thanks. That's our Northern Regional Correspondent Hashmin Mohammed with an update from that inaugural flight in Tamale today. On to other stories. And a US-based Ghanaian professor is advising academia and industry to aggressively explore networking and collaboration in the job market. Professor Emmanuel Akwa of the University of Maryland Eastern Shore says the present business environment needs people who can connect with others for growth. He was speaking on funding research for national development at this year's summer school in Kumasi. Mahmoud Mohammed Nuruddin reports.
The summer school brings together experts and professionals in various fields of academia, industry and governance to share practical ideas. They openly debate key players within the context of sustainable and accelerated national development. The school also encourages public and private sector service providers to deliver satisfactorily to the citizenry. Professor Akwa explains the importance of networking and advocacy to industry and training institutions.
Who is there to advocate for you for resources? Advocacy is also synonymous with your champions. Who are your champions outside there? Because as resources continue to become scarcer and scarcer, you need some individuals who will be out there advocating for your needs and serving as champions. You do have many alumni who are in very, very powerful positions in certain organizations, and you have to try to ensure that you bring them into the networking.
He also encourages industry to have people he describes as champions to drive the national development agenda through research.
To ensure that you have your research and development capability statement properly developed. It could be by college, it could be by a center, it could be by the whole university. In reading your annual research report, fantastic work is there. Most of the information out there is a matter of tweaking it to suit particular donor or agencies.
Minister of Trade and Industry Dr. Ekos Gabra urged academia and industry to work closely together.
So I'm talking about a dramatic change in our national curriculum. And I'm talking about how do you process sugar cane into sugar, which has been going on recently, and everybody became an expert. Once they heard that Commander Sugar Factory had been opened, everybody was talking on the air. Journalists who have never studied anything about sugar cane became experts overnight. Oil palm. There are policies that the Ministry of Trade and Industry is trying to drive on sugar development in Ghana. And we need academia to be part of that process. We are talking about developing policies and programs for oil palm development in Ghana.
Vice Chancellor of the KNUST, Professor Kwesi Obri-Danso, is optimistic this year's edition will prescribe solutions to propel Ghana's development agenda. Professor Obri-Danso believes greater stakeholder collaboration is critical for utilizing scarce resources for a prosperous Ghana.
I'm therefore happy that this summer school concept is creating a platform for experienced resource persons, experts and professionals for academia, industry and government should share practical knowledge, technology, and experience gained through hard work over the years. And with your dedication, open debate to issues, I'm sure together we can solve some of our national developmental challenges.
Mahmoud Mohammed Nuruddin's report.
You're welcome back. Now, human rights lawyer Francis Xavier Sosu has, together with 2 others, sued the International God's Way Church and its founder, Bishop Daniel Obinim, for the alleged assault of 2 teenagers during a church service. The suit filed at the Human Rights Division of the High Court seeks to enforce the fundamental human rights of the victims. This follows public outrage over a video showing Bishop Daniel Obinim flogging 2 teenagers with his belt as his congregation looked on. According to the writ, Francis Xavier Sosu, Daniel Agbavo, and lawyer Irene Abochi have sued the preacher and the church over the violation of the 1992 Constitution as it relates to the protection of the dignity of every member of the respondent's church. According to the complainants, the evangelist and his church have a reputation for such dehumanizing and cruel actions. The complainants believe that unless action is taken against the church and Daniel Obinim, it will send a message to other religious organizations that such an action is acceptable under the guise of religion. The complainants are also seeking an order of injunction against the respondents, which would restrain them, their agents, assigns, privies, and workmen, and any other person working under their authority or purporting to work in their names from any further conduct such as beating, caning, stepping, spitting, insulting, inducements of fear and threat of death, invoking curses, and any other conduct whatsoever described which violates the dignity of their members and followers and constitutes degrading, cruel, and dehumanizing treatment to their members and followers. Now, in his response to the suit, Bishop Daniel Obinim says the lawyers appear not to be well grounded in the law. He contends, without knowing the supposed victims, the lawyers cannot claim to want to defend them. In an interview with Mamabi Owusu Abuaje, Bishop Obinim said the victims are his adopted children and that his actions are for their own good.
Lawyer now go with Jim and Kasana said, "Me who the physical say that. Me who the that. But when you the Juma way in so when you collect lawyer.
Where lawyer?
I doubt the lawyer knows his work. He's here to understand the job. Before a lawyer defends someone, he needs to speak to the person and understand the issues. This lawyer doesn't even know them. The children have been with me from infancy. If children who stay with a man of God engage in such an act, how does the lawyer come in? Is he the lawyer for everybody? He needs to speak to all parties in order to understand the issues. He should have at least tried to get in touch with me for explanation. I paid the boys' fees just last week, 7,600 Ghana cedi. The boy is brilliant. I therefore want him to become responsible in future. I travel a lot because of my work. My wife is also busy. The children are on their own after. I still can't understand why such young ones will do this. What baffles me is the intention to abort the baby. If the girl had died, Ghanaians would have held me responsible. God revealed this to me because I fasted and prayed. Thanks be to God, his revelation has prevented the girl from passing on, so I decided to punish them. I have the full video. I flogged them with the belt. I have an understanding of the law, hence I didn't just use the belt anyhow.
Everybody, lawyer to people. You have to lawyer to every person. It meant here one person's side view and take it as that angle and free man. As a lawyer, what you have to investigate. Say, hey, okay, when you answer my matter, I want to call Bishop Obinim to find out. Open the number.
Meanwhile, the mother of Jesua, the girl who was flogged in the video, has fully endorsed the actions of the evangelist, explaining she probably would have done worse.
I know nothing about my child engaging in such acts. Her younger relatives informed me that she had taken a drug. I couldn't understand till I went to church and discovered that this is what my child had done. If not that I was shy of Bishop, I would have gone for the belt to cane the boy myself. I have suffered in life. This church has been helpful. If she had died, I would be held culpable. For those saying they should arrest Bishop, if you don't stop, I'll curse them.
Well, the young man also seen in the flogging video is also said to have admitted his wrong and apologized to Bishop Obinim. The mother who disclosed this to Joy News says no member of the public has the right to take on the evangelist for doing what any father would do.
Because I was in the church when the incident occurred. His father and I were not aware he had impregnated the girl. I was happy he flogged them. A child whose fees is being paid is not supposed to do this. The medicine he tried to abort the baby with is of concern. If God had not revealed it to Pastor Obinim, the girl would have died. What will Ghanaians say? It is good the man of God punished them. There are many young people in the church who do similar things. God therefore used the man of God to punish them to serve as a deterrent. This is not an issue the police should be involved in. No one held me when I struggled to cater for the child, but the man of God decided to help us. I haven't reported the issue because he is their father. If the police contact me, I will say same. They haven't even apologized to him.
Inti na nyam kupon ofa obofo so gwa omo se na omo a omo kae no omo besua nyansa.
And indeed, this is your election headquarters. Now, flag bearer of the opposition New Patriotic Party has made a passionate appeal to Ghanaian electorates to vote massively for his party in the upcoming general elections in order for him to implement a transformational leadership similar to what the Ivorian president Alassane Ouattara has done in his home country. He said this when he toured the Okaikwe North constituency Friday afternoon.
Right now we are at La Paz, just adjacent the Abrantes Court, and Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo has been addressing enthusiastic supporters of the New Patriotic Party and passers-by as well, who have gathered here in their numbers, cheering up the flag bearer of the opposition New Patriotic Party. One key issue Nana Addo has raised is that he wants these supporters to enthusiastically vote for him in order to bring the kind of transformation the president of Côte d'Ivoire, Alassane Ouattara, has brought to his home country here in Ghana. The sorry state of Ghana is alarming. Let's draw a comparison between us and Côte d'Ivoire, a war-torn country. Thanks to the leadership exhibited by Alassane Ouattara, the country has become the preferred investment destination in the sub-region.
1,000 people. Alassane Ouattara ne yewura babo abato eto ye no. 3,000 people in the year. The conference Grammy free Côte d'Ivoire in Basa no over 100,000. The one about Ghana. Then so ene Babeshe Côte d'Ivoire. Abeye Krabeshe mine Africa bibi nyina.
That is the kind of leadership I would bring on board if I become president.
That's right. The Juma Watara, I am a Cote d'Ivoire. Yemma me coin, I mean, yes, Juma no Magana. Say, you can say, Okakwe district, Okakwe district, no, a certificate, sama.
The promise of constructing a factory in each district across the country is real, and we will make it happen if you vote for Nana Addo to become president come December 7.
Nana, our Mamba Buano, and my policy, no, Abba, Amma Mabu, and Matia, and Mabayua, and Yaduma Aye. I saw Tanaka a year, one person, one city.
Prices of goods and services have shot up so high and it has become unbearable. So let's vote massively for Nana to bring relief to us.
20 pesos no and I don't know 2 cities who got to abana amania or the hochri prayer I John Mahamano ya kwa tunu I wanna konya no so na ya chire no say ya bro
And that report was filed by Latif Idris. Now, as you may be aware, the Electoral Commission has commenced the continuous registration exercise. That exercise started today. The Commission says that it has observed some challenges with the exercise and has released a statement. And what it is saying is that it has taken note of some challenges arising during the continuous voter registration exercise that took place across the country today, August 19, 2016. These include higher than anticipated turnout of registrants at some centers, network challenges, and power outages at some registration centers. In view of these challenges, the Commission has taken the following steps. 1. Directed the extension of the registration exercise to 8 p.m. today across the country. All persons who are unable to register today would have another opportunity to register on Friday, 26 August 2016. The exercise will be extended to Saturday, 27th August 2016 to cater for areas with high numbers and backlogs created by system challenges. We wish to thank the public for their understanding and also commend the political parties for their continued support and cooperation. All feedback, concern and challenges regarding the exercise should be brought to the attention of the Commission either through the Communications Secretariat, Regional Directors or District Electoral Officers of the Commission. And that statement is signed by the head of communications at the Electoral Commission, Eric Kofi Japasu. We're taking a short break. We'll be back with entertainment.